The Geno Smith trade from the Seahawks to the Raiders will have massive ripple effects on the New York Jets. Plus, the legal tampering period is about 30 hours and change away, and a lot has happened with the New York Jets. We'll address all those rumors. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And the rumor mill is churning, people. Rumors and actual news that has directly affected the New York Jets and free agency. Several of their targets are already off the board. We'll be getting into all of that here on the program in just a little bit. But let's bring in our special guest here on a Sunday, and that is Hop on Pop, gracing us with his presence. What's up, Hop on Pop? Good morning.
Hey now, good morning, Coffee Club.
There you go. Speaking of the Coffee Club, we got a couple of business notes to get to. First off, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We're doing two giveaways. One is for free, and we're 10 people away, just 10 people away from 7,500 subscribers. As soon as we reach it, we're giving away a free piece of autographed New York Jets memorabilia. So as soon as we reach 7,500, one lucky subscriber will get that. I'll reach out to you and grab your contact info. And the other is the Boy Green raffle leaderboard. For every $2.99 raffle ticket you spend, you have a chance at a wonderful prize pack that includes all of these gifts. Throw it up here on the screen, baby. That is a New York Jets patched out pullover hoodie, a Super Bowl prize pack with a couple of different items, and a custom laser engraving package with a couple of different items. All that's up for grabs. We'll be announcing that on April's Fool's Day. That is no joke. That'll be coming up on April 1st. We'll reveal the winner of this contest, but all your raffle tickets throughout the month of March are eligible for that giveaway. And the reason why I brought it up is because we have a couple of people gifting, baby, here on the channel, including MFC, Mother Effing Chew, baby. I'll read that Boy Green Coffee Club member in a second. Now, I was going to say you can look at the leaderboard down below. Look at all these. We have a lot of ties for Lillian, Big D, and A-Step in third place with 23. Devin at 11. And at 5, we had the big fella, Alan, Travis Preheim, and Ant Jets 82, all tied at 6. But Travis Preheim said, tying is disgusting. So he is no longer tied for 5th place with 100 people. He holds 5th place all to himself. So sorry, big fella Allen and Ant Jets 82. Our boy Travis said he doesn't like ties. So now he has sole possession of that spot on the leaderboard in 5th place with 7 raffle tickets so far this month. And MFC, salute to you with another raffle ticket as well to the contest pop. It's going great.
Yep, it's going great, going great. And that sweatshirt, I mentioned it yesterday, I'll mention it again. It's got the sweetest logo I've seen in a long time, and that's the Gotham City football, which is on the sleeve, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. I'll throw that back up on the screen so people can drool over it a little bit more. Like I said, it's so nice. I want to grab that puppy for myself. And there you go, baby. The New York Jets patched out pullover hoodie, Gotham City football on the other side of it. Very nice. By the way, a couple of new Boy Green Coffee Club members, thanks to this membership. This must be one of your burner accounts, Pop. We have Atlanta Jets fan on here, is now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. One of your other places of business. And Travis Preheim's gifted membership went to Jacob Benuelos, getting a membership to the Boy Green Coffee Club. So shout out as well. Beautiful.
We all know your pronunciation skills are a little bit off.
I thought that was quite nice. I thought that was quite
that's how
native.
you pronounce it.
Quite native in tongue. Yes.
You pronounce Travis, words. You pronounce words like Ron Burgundy.
I am Ron Burgundy? Hey, Travis Preheim with another membership, baby. And this one went to a guy who comments a lot on our channel. 3 Siblings Baby was just gifted a membership. And I don't explain that often enough, but let me throw that into the ring as well, that it is random who gets gifted memberships, but it's random out of the people that are most active. The people that like the video and comment the most is where YouTube puts everybody up on a pedestal, and then they randomly pick from that group. So the more you comment, if you don't have a Boy Green Coffee Cup membership and you want to be gifted one, number one, that's the best way to do it. And number two, you have to flip the settings. So make sure if you're unsure if your YouTube account is open to gifting memberships. By default, it isn't. So just click at Travis Brehem's green here, and it'll ask you if you want to turn that on. So feel free to do that if you're watching live here on the show. Just a little tidbit for you guys back at home for those counting. But beautiful, Dad. Memberships are raining from the high heavens. It's pretty sweet.
It is. It is. We're about a third of the way through the month of March. Not quite. March Madness. I expect this to get eclectic.
Quite. It will get quite spicy. So without further ado, let's get into a lot of action here. First off, we sort of talked about a little bit about this yesterday, but let's really just kind of lay it straight here. Geno Smith on Friday gets traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Raiders, and a series of NFL Network insiders explained the wild domino effect that's now going to happen because of that surprising trade. So let's bring it all together here. So obviously, Geno Smith goes from Seattle to Las Vegas. That fills a spot in Vegas, but opens up a spot in Seattle. Ian Rappaport explained that the new QB1 goal or target for the Seahawks is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold now is not going to re-sign with the Vikings, which apparently was a big possibility. Now he's no longer going to do that because of the Seattle interest. And now the Vikings, who wanted Sam Darnold back as a veteran for J.J. McCarthy, are now looking at another veteran. One of those options is Daniel Jones, who is currently on their roster. But now they're looking for Aaron Rodgers? So wait a second. We might get the Brett Favre storyline after all, that now Aaron Rodgers can end up in Minnesota. The same thing that happened 17 years ago when Brett Favre came over to us for a year. It ended up being hot, 8-3, and then failing. And then we release him, and then he ends up in Minnesota and has a career season. He had the best touchdown interception ratio of his Hall of Fame career that year. In 2009, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. They went to the NFC Championship game, and one boneheaded Brett Favre throw across his body ended their playoff hopes. Quite. Yeah. Rolling to the right and saying, wait, I think maybe someone's over there. Is that Sidney Rice? And they gets intercepted by the Saints. They end up winning the Super Bowl. And we all know how that history happened. But good Lord have mercy.
Let's talk about, first of all, shout out to Vern and his grandmother.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Gam Gam out there. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So this is proof for the New York Jets that there are multiple teams that are dumb. You know, with Aaron Glenn in the house, we can sweep away the bad decisions of yesteryear. But this is a clear, like this domino, like one is stupider than the other across the board. And I will explain.
Okay.
And I'll start off with the most intelligent domino was the Raiders. The Raiders in this domino sequence, in this weird scenario we may be going, the Raiders are the biggest winner in this domino thing. And I'll tell you the biggest loser in a minute. Right? So the Raiders get Geno Smith for 3 or 4 years. In today's reality of all this, that, or the other, that's about what the most you can expect. And I know it's only signed for 1 year but they have to redo the deal. But sure.
But their plan is.
That's right.
Because that's another part of the domino. We didn't talk about that. Geno Smith got traded from the Seahawks to the Raiders. Season last year his deal. But the hope is from the Raiders, this is from a Raiders source, is that Geno Smith they view as the quote-unquote quarterback of the future. Right. He's 34, and they plan on signing him to a multi-year deal for around $45 million is apparently what Geno wants, which could take them out of quarterback pickings at 6th overall. Another quarterback domino, but go ahead.
All right. Back where I was before that unneeded segue.
Important nugget.
It's no, I was getting there. Yeah, it was. You just had to write a segue in like Paul Blart. But anyways, moving along. So the Raiders get the best end of the deal. The delusional part, we could get Gator to do a little delusional video. The delusional video in this scenario is first Seattle and then Minnesota. And I'll tell you why. So the Seattle gave up, and to me, I'm going to put my gradings on these quarterbacks, right? Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold, historically speaking, by a wide margin. By a wide margin. Watch the last 2 games of the season again for you. But anyways, so they let Geno go because they didn't want to pay him. Before any of this came out, it was rumored that Minnesota was going to let Sam Darnold go because they didn't want to pay him, because he wanted this $40, $50 million. People aren't getting everyone needs to wake up and smell the coffee. That's how much it's going to cost. So for the Seattle to let Geno go because they don't want to pay him 45, Sam Darnold's at least getting 45. So that doesn't make any sense.
But he's 8 years younger.
Yeah. And so how long do quarterbacks stay with their teams nowadays? It's not like back in the day. It's not like Dan Marino, right? Pillar to post. And I can't mention Dan Marino without saying he got clubbed like a baby seal in the last game of his career by 63-7 by the Jacksonville Jaguars. That amuses me. But anyways, people don't stay with a team 16 years anymore. Like, it doesn't happen. And even then at the tail end, right, you have I hate to say out loud, Joe Namath, right, strapping on the Rams uniform. You have, the Joe Montana putting on the Chiefs uniform. You have I could go on and on. And then you have Brett Favre's whack job tour of what he did at the end. So all I'm saying is this. So every team is letting a quarterback, and to me, it's a 3 to 4 year window now for a quarterback. That's really all you can commit to, right? You get them for a 3 or 4 year deal, and then it's going to be on to the next. So I think the Raiders got the best. The Seahawks are going to settle for second best, and they're going to pay more, right? And again, the deal they signed Sam Darnold for is only going to be 3 to 4 years, which they wouldn't give to Geno. And then the Vikings, who had, they're the only team that has 3 Pro Bowl type quarterbacks on their roster, are going to end up with washed out Aaron Rodgers. It's just a weird sequence.
Well, a couple of things here. First off, what you say is true. Geno's career is better than Sam Darnold's. That's fair. Sam Darnold's ceiling is better than Geno Smith has ever done. This past season, Sam Darnold's stats, what do you mean? We know that as a fact.
We have one body of work.
Sam Darnold's season last year was better than any season Geno Smith has ever had. How is that? How do we not know that? What do you mean? How does that not make sense?
Was the end of the year good?
The final 2 games, great. It's cool that you're a prisoner of the moment guy that overreacts to 2 games over a large sample size that had him winning 14 games.
It's not a large sample size. We have the rest of his career knocking on the door.
Right, but this was his first opportunity with good coaching and a good talent around him, and he immediately delivered. That's sort of interesting. But it's interesting that we kind of cherry pick some of the stats. But yeah,
let's cherry pick something else. Geno Smith threw for more yards than Sam Darnold last year. Should look it up.
And
well, you said that his year was so much better.
His year was. What were the touchdowns? What were the interceptions?
He had a better team around him.
And so, just because you have a better team doesn't guarantee that you're going to perform better. Aaron Rodgers apparently had the greatest team around him last season. What did that result in?
Yeah, we can agree to disagree. I would tell you that over the course of their career, proven experience, Geno Smith has been in Sam Darnold's one and done. And the one that you're heralding, you're talking about me cherry picking. You're only cherry picking touchdowns. We're the worst team. Geno Smith threw for more yards. More yards.
Touchdowns are more important than air yards that can happen in losing.
Higher?
What was higher? So Geno Smith had 1 interception less than the interception leader in the league. How many interceptions did Sam Darnold have last season?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one spouting him.
Because he had a better season.
More yards on a better team. Geno Smith, higher completion percentage.
By the way, I think the Vikings are winning here because I think
come from behind victories.
Ending up with Aaron Rodgers is better for the long term here for the Vikings. I like Sam Darnold a lot, but Sam Darnold, if he would have signed anything less than a 3-year deal with the Vikings, he would have been an idiot. He should sign his long term deal wherever he can because in Minnesota he's on borrowed time. They traded up to take a quarterback with the Jets in the top 10. That's J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold's, Christmas past, present, and future story that he has with Bill Murray, his future is limited. There's a line in the sand of what Sam Darnold could do no matter what he does. If he goes to Seattle, he could be the guy forever. If he went to the Raiders, he could have been the guy forever. He has a chance to do that. Aaron Rodgers makes more sense. You have J.J. McCarthy, who you eventually want to go to. Aaron Rodgers has an expiration date on the back of his milk carton. He's only going to play another year or two longer. Maybe it's 3, but I don't even think it's going to be that. I think it's so. But again, that's what I'm saying. That it ends up only being a year or two, which is better for J.J. McCarthy. You can let Aaron come in, hold the fort, and how is that not good for the Vikings?
J.J. McCarthy doesn't work out.
If J.J. McCarthy doesn't work out, then join the rest of the Jets group and every other team that's drafted a quarterback that hasn't worked out.
Right, but you're giving away. So you're like, okay, they're giving away Sam Darnold. That
must mean that they believe in J.J. McCarthy pretty well.
Right, you have Aaron Rodgers' runway with 2 different teams with a lot of talent surrounding him. Right, you know what it looked like. Right, so that's a fact. So you're letting that go. That we don't know what we don't know about where J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy may be the next Jordan Travis, or vice versa, right?
But they believe in
Sam Darnold in the building, and you know that Aaron Rodgers has not been playing well the last 2 years he's played.
Again, if the Vikings are smart people, they've got a great coaching staff. If they're doing that, doesn't that say, man, we think that highly of J.J. McCarthy that we're willing to let Sam Darnold out of the building? They could have franchise tagged him, but they didn't want to. They could have franchise tagged him, and I would have thought that would have been a good move for the Minnesota Vikings. They did not. I think a great pivot is to Aaron, because if it flames out and doesn't work out, who cares? It's gonna the keys are going to be flipped over to J.J. McCarthy anyway.
I'll tell you that the Minnesota Vikings are the team that overpaid for the quintessential under delivering quarterback. Right? How much did they get? Is it $100 million they gave Kirk Cousins before he went to Atlanta? Right? So they are in the running for the worst quarterback decision-making franchise in the NFL. I don't know who's coming up second. You may want to maybe on your
Kirk Cousins was great with the Vikings. What are you talking about?
Great as in how? How many playoff victories did he deliver?
Oh my God! 1 is what he delivered when they beat the New Orleans Saints.
That's his only playoff amazing.
Yes, I am going to bring that up in a second. But the only thing that I don't understand here is your captain stats for other quarterbacks, and then Kirk Cousins, you're overlooking the stats over an 8-year stretch. Some of those are at the end or with Washington, but the majority of them were with Minnesota. He averaged per season 4,200 passing yards and 29 passing touchdowns every season that he was there in Minnesota. So we're saying, what a horrible quarterback this is. How does that make any sense? I don't understand. Other quarterbacks are championing stats. Then we get to Kirk Cousins, you're overlooking stats. I don't understand how that makes any sense.
I'm not over.
We said Kirk Cousins was a terrible decision with the Vikings.
They overpaid him and got nothing out of it.
What do you mean? They got all those big regular season, no Super Bowl.
How successful was their season last year? They got a lot of wins last year.
Okay. It was better than the Cowboys. It was better than the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you threw the Cowboys in there.
Because there's 31 losers.
So then Sam Darnold
have that prism, so there's 31 losers in the league every year.
So Sam Darnold, right? You're like touting how great Cousins is, and you're happy. You think the Vikings are smart to let Sam Darnold out the door. Your arguments
No. That's not what I said. I said if they franchise tagged him, that would have been the best play. You have him for 1 year, and you kick the can down the road. I thought franchise tagging Sam would have made a lot of sense. They chose not to do that. Now that you didn't, now we have to live in a new world where you have not franchise tagged Sam. Now what's our best quarterback option? And that's why I'm saying to go to Aaron Rodgers is the best, as opposed to going to Sam Darnold for 3 years, 150. Then J.J. McCarthy's after. You got to trade him. You can't have $150 million backup on the team. We're in a new world than we were yesterday. I would have told them to franchise tag
J.J. McCarthy is very, and so do I. That's what I'm saying. The whole beginning of the argument is the stupid dominoes, right? With the Raiders being the winner.
Here we are. Let's get to that super chat. Good Lord have mercy. Aced up 10 here with a $49.99 super chat.
Booyah!
And the only proper reaction to this is from my daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
A-Step 10 with a good morning, BG and Pop. You guys are great. Love the show. Hoping we don't mess around and miss on Fields and get it done first thing tomorrow. Yes, the NFL legal tampering period is tomorrow at noon, and there is palpable buzz that Justin Fields and the New York Jets is happening. There's palpable buzz that Justin Fields is testing the market, and there is a belief if he tests the market, the Jets will win that battle. We will see if that's true. Obviously, there's another, like I said, 30-some-odd hours until we get to the legal tampering period, which means the Steelers have 30-some-odd hours to try to lock in Justin Fields before that point. And as we've seen with a couple of Lions free agents that Jets fans were targeting as potential guys, they're just simply re-upping with the Lions and coming off the board, which is possible here. If the Steelers, again, if I'm Justin Fields, I'm testing the market because that's better. Even if I go back to Pittsburgh, that's better for me. That helps my money and situation. But like Marcus Davenport, Lions pass rusher, Jet fans like, ooh, that'd be nice. Sorry, he's off the board. He re-upped. Derek Barnes, sorry, he re-upped. So a lot of these Lions free agents that were set to be available will no longer be available. A couple of them have signed, and we're keeping an eye on the NFL free agent tracker. So we'll see. There is a lot of buzz pop, so let's react to that for A-Step 10 here. Justin Fields will ultimately be the veteran quarterback of choice. Speaking of quarterback domino, all of that spins back to the Jets.
That's right. And it really ties to this. Seattle's, living in some deranged state. Minnesota's in the same deranged state. The fact is a quarterback market, right, is, for a starting quarterback in the NFL, it's $45 million is almost this entrance fee now. That's almost the starting argument, and they don't want to pay that. That's very odd. But the opportunity that exists with Fields is he's not. He's the outlier, right? So we know he started off, was it 4-2? Is it 4-2 and 6?
Yes, that's right. No, it's 4-2.
Yeah. So he started off as 4-2. Now, Justin Fields, right? This is a golden opportunity. You never know, right? You get the goose, that lays the golden eggs, then you chop its head off and there's no golden eggs in there. But, he's not going to get $45 million, right?
No.
And it's going to be a very interesting case of what he does get for this, this weird unknown. So you take the Baker Mayfield deal, right? He showed up, showed out, and then he got just below the market kind of value kind of thing of this $45 million I'm talking about. So is Justin Fields, now he's not going to be free. He's not going to be Tyrod Taylor money, but I think he's going to, if he signs, I think he's going to cost $20 million. I think he's going to cost $20 million per year. I think he's going to.
Well,
again, that's the thing I know. We don't have anything that compares to this, right? We really don't.
Right. Yes. Right now, right. So let's establish everything here. The projections are around the 10-11 million range by experts. Rich Cimini specifically sort of threw that out there on his podcast, saying, don't be surprised if the Jets sign Justin Fields for something like, and these are his words, a 2-year deal for $20 million, which would be $10 million per. But there's a lot of interest for Fields, and as we all know with all free agents, you get overpaid in free agency. So there's a chance that we get a little bit of juice here because Jets and Steelers are the prominent teams in public eye, but there always are teams lurking that we're not talking about that could also be in the mix. So there could be a bump here, but even still, obviously that would be a bargain too.
Right. So
I get a lot of people get a little crazy about that.
And I didn't read any of those articles. Maybe it's the $15 to $20 million range, but that for starting quarterback, if we got that and Fields worked out and Fields started, the majority of the games next season, trotting around at 15, 17 million, whatever it is, that's the discount double check, right? That's the going to the dollar store and getting something better there. So,
yeah, and by the way, let me bring up the raffle leaderboard. A-Step 10 has surged into first place with 40 raffle tickets. Number one, Austria Jet fan, second place with 34. Jimmy Jets 25 for Lillian Big D with 23. Devin with 11. Sorry, Travis Preheem, you've been knocked out of the top 5, but you can always work your way back in there. But a massive salute here to A-Step 10, who's been a massive supporter this month. I'm glad that you love the show. Just real quick on Justin Fields, and I see that there are mixed comments about Justin Fields here, and I'll leave your comment up here, A-Step 10, as I'm addressing a few of these others. For instance, Molon Labe says, so now we're supposed to be excited about Justin Fields. We have to come to the realization that any quarterback door that we turn the handle and go through is not going to be, and this sort of works the same way for free agents too. Everyone's got warts, and you just have to come to grips, go to the table, go to the round table, pound it, and say, you know, this is the guy that has the least amount of warts that we're comfortable with, and we're going to go with this guy. And that, to me, is Justin Fields. When you look at the quarterbacks, apparently, that are being connected to the New York Jets, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, a lot of these guys are older guys, and to me, we know what they are. Carson Wentz, for the last 5-6 years, has been a long-term backup. Marcus Mariota, over that same stretch, has been a long-term backup. He's transitioned to that next phase of his career. Jameis Winston has served as a backup quarterback. These are just older guys that we know exactly what they are. There's no upside. Now, Jameis could be fun because he's going to throw touchdowns. He's going to throw a lot of picks. So there could just be some excitement there. He's got a rocket launcher arm. Could give Garrett Wilson a lot of chances. You could sell me on Jameis Winston. But if you're looking for a guy that is still unaccounted for, unsettled, we don't know whether Justin Fields for the rest of his career is just going to be a backup. Is he going to be a guy that's constantly battling for starting jobs? A journeyman, or does he still have a chance to be a franchise quarterback? He is a dynamic guy from running the football. He averages 50 plus rushing yards per game. That would have a dramatic impact on Breece Hall at the mesh point. That would have, and Justin Fields looked more refined as a passer last year with Pittsburgh. And that stretch that Pop just talked about, 4-2 as a starter, he had 10 touchdowns to 1 pick. That's a terrific touchdown interception ratio. He got it done on the ground. He got it done through the air. Again, I'm not promising you that Justin Fields is going to be Joe Montana. I'm not going to tell you that. But we're supposed to be excited about Justin Fields. I'm not going to tell you guys to be excited about whoever you want. You can see my excitement, and if you want to jump on the train, so be it. I think Justin Fields, we're talking about options here, is the best veteran option that's on the board that has a chance to be something. He could be our Sam Darnold. He could be our Baker Mayfield. What do I mean by that? Where a team gives a guy a 1-year chance to say, hey, look at the team, see if you can reestablish your value. Sam Darnold went to the Vikings, signed a 1-year deal for $10 million, and a lot of people made fun of it. Sam Darnold, $10 million. What are we doing here? And then guess what? He blows up, has this crazy year. Now he's the top free agent fish. He's going to get crazy buco bucks and frenzy. Baker Mayfield. Now he bounced around Carolina, then Rams for 5 seconds, then Tampa for that 1-year deal. He goes crazy. Tampa gives him the 3-year, $100 million deal. So all I'm saying is that here's what happens. Here, let's talk about the Matthew Berry talks about this a lot in his book and also on fantasy. What are within the realm of possibilities? What are within the realm of possibility? Justin Fields could flop out. Totally within the realm of possibilities. Something else that's possible with the Jets, their offensive line, previous chemistry, Garrett Wilson, he pops off this year. And he either re-signs with the Jets for multiple years, hey, we think we have our guy that we want to build around, or he cashes in with someone else. This is a very minimal contract. At most, it's 2 years to me if you get Justin Fields. At worst, it's 1 year. Okay, we need somebody to start at quarterback in 2025, and I think there are worse people than Justin Fields.
And I agree. And you look at this, right? You get Justin Fields, and then we still have. Don't forget, Tyrod Taylor is not a joke. He's not a long-term solution, but he brings a lot to the table. And I would tell you that you have Tyrod Taylor, you have Justin Fields, and even with both of them on the roster, assuming we get them for $15 million, you're looking at, you have 2 solid quarterbacks that have won in the NFL for $23 million. And then unlike 2023, one goes down, you have a serviceable backup, which we did not have in 2023, which really cost us breaking the playoff drought. Because we would have broken it in 2023. I have no doubt. We are one serviceable quarterback away. And then to your other point, you've got those tiers of quarterbacks. Like you've got the Geno Smith. I think the Geno Smith, the Sam Darnold, you have this realm here. And then you have the lower tier realm of Wentz, Winston, and Mariota. Yeah. But there is the one quarterback that you could almost not argue, like you literally couldn't break him down. Like there's nothing negative coming to the table with this quarterback, re-signed with the Rams, right? There's literally, anyone could say, talk shit about Matt Stafford. Like literally there's nothing you could say. But now you pick every other one. You go through the list, and I would break them into tiers, and then you make your decision. You've got the Brett Favre, right? You have the Sam Darnold, the Geno Smith, which we didn't even know Geno Smith, which is what my point yesterday. You got to explore what you don't know. And you literally, to me, from what is currently left, you have Sam Darnold and you have Justin Fields. And I think Fields is the way to go.
Yeah, again, I concur. I think he is the best option. Again, there are a lot of, if you watch Justin Fields, back to the Chicago, there were times where he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And you're like, what is going on here? And there have been those moments. So we will see. The trust will be, can this new Lion staff / Jet staff of Tanner Engstrand, does he believe Justin Fields can fit in his system and do what he needs to do? That's another part of the equation here as well. A Step 10 with another super chat coming in here on the program. Wow. Fields is best option. That's why I get it done ASAP. And especially if you believe he's the best option and you miss out on him, oh boy. We swing into a completely different pool from that perspective.
And I would tell you, Justin Fields, right, was in a terrible situation in Chicago. Like, Chicago's where quarterbacks are born to die, right? Mm-hmm. And so given the right parameters, right, given clear direction, right, the Pittsburgh coaching staff's not fucking around to find out, right? They're like, you will do ball control. I would say with that mindset, you bring him in, you say, okay, man, we're going to have this game. Our strategy is to pound the rock and free up some play action for you. Take the sack, throw the ball away, slide on your ass. Do not throw the picks. You put those clear parameters in place. And I'll tell you that, if you felt you had a strong coaching staff, you could do that with famous Jameis as well, right? He had a few years ago before he got hurt at the Saints, right? We had a 14-3 touchdown interception ratio. I'm talking about Jameis Winston.
Right, a refined version, yes.
You put in there these guardrails, right? We don't need you to throw for 5,000 yards like you did with your last year at Tampa Bay. We don't need that. We don't need you to throw for 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in that same year, right? We need you to manage the game.
And I think in a simpler version, quite frankly, Justin Fields is not going to be Aaron Rodgering at the line. There's not going to be pre-snap. They're hey, Justin, this is a zone read. All right, coach, get into the line. Is that a Bluebird 22 Cobra? Whoa, alert. We're passing this shit.
Omaha. Right. Listen, buddy.
To me, he's going to run the offense. And again, for Aaron, it worked he's a Super Bowl quarterback. He's moonwalking into the Hall of Fame. So, pre-snap about Peyton Manning's Omaha, all that stuff. There are pre-snap quarterbacks that could get it done. But sometimes an OC just wants a quarterback that's just going to be a soldier. Again, we're seeing all these nicknames out here. Field of Dreams, Field General, I've heard out there in the universe. Yeah,
Right. You let them go line. Like, you got A and B. Here's your passing play. Here's your running play. There's your audible. Yeah. And by the way, you can audible around the fat guys in front of you so you don't get killed. Beyond that,
pass protection.
We don't want you to do anything.
And A Step 10 is picking A, and that is a dominating performance here on the show today. Punched in their own ticket to the Boy Green Coffee Club, which you can do in the YouTube description down below. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. It gives you all kinds of perks. Our members-only videos. We're going to have a lot of free agency stuff, so you guys will get the first dip at all of those videos coming out as well, plus access to our Discord channel and all of our custom emojis and so much more. Plus, all of the raffle tickets. A Step 10 is collecting. A Step 10 is increasing the lead in first place. You can see it down in the YouTube description or the scrolling ticker down below. Excuse me. 40 raffle tickets so far. Beautiful, unbelievable. Shout out to A Step 10.
It just occurred to me, there's been the number one Austrian Jets fan. And by the way, he doesn't have to do anything, But normally at this point of the show, he'd be coming in with the European hammer. He would not allow himself to be bumped ahead. But you know what? I realize why he's not on. I realize why we haven't seen him in the chat. Because the United States of America does what we call this daylight savings time.
Yeah.
It probably is a foreign concept, ha ha ha, to the number one Austrian Jets fan. And he is probably going to tune in 25 minutes going, where's
to the
Boy
start
Green?
of the show. Yeah,
Like,
right.
What's going on?
Yeah. So that could be a possibility. So again, more salutes to Aced Up 10 for his domination. Let me give a couple of other. This has been great on Justin Fields, and again, we're going to get a lot. I imagine going to get a lot more into that very quickly here. I think the Jets will move quickly to Aced Up 10's point of like some aggression here. If you're the Jets and you've identified Justin Fields, and by all the rumor mills they have, who knows if these leaks are true or not, you want to lock in that guy ASAP because that sets up everything else. Because if you don't have, so going back to Tyrod Taylor for a second, to what Pop just said about how he's not just some scrub. Tyrod Taylor's not been a full-time starter in 8 years. So I don't know what Tyrod Taylor is. He's been a spot starter over last. I like him as a backup and as a guy who's going to be competing for a star job. Let's roll and let's see what he provides. But I'm not sure. Like I said, we haven't seen him in 8 years, for Pete's sake, as a full-time starter who was the man and running the operation. So, but selling your free agent pitch, when you're signing free agent wide receivers, my first question is, hey, Jets, who's your quarterback, man? And if you've got Justin Fields on lock, even with whatever bugaboos he may have, okay, it's Justin Fields. Okay, now I know what you're doing. When you don't know, I don't think that's a box of mystery where that free agent receiver is Peter Griffin. Ooh, that box could be anything. Let me sign with the Jets. I think they're going to want a little bit more of a clear answer from that perspective. We got another YouTube super chat coming in. Man with Rake FL has been a member on this channel for 5 months, which we truly appreciate. Thank you so much, buddy.
Wow.
Like to see Fields in a run option offense. And again, that would be the bread and butter, I would imagine, of this regime. Now, there was supposed to be a run offense last year primarily, but we never saw that. So I wonder if we can reach that. And boy, is Brees Hall going to be motivated to all high hell. He's in a contract year. So I think there's a lot that's going to be going on there. A couple of free agent nuggets real quick that we could share. Shout out to Rich Cimini that just had this in one of his sort of ESPN updates. Here it is. Morgan Moses, a guy that a lot of us wanted back, and then there was that update from Connor Hughes like, oh boy, is he not coming back? Well, apparently the Jets are in talks with Morgan Moses and Jamin Sherwood, for that matter, according to Rich Cimini. And Moses is one. He's 34 years old. There's no heir apparent on the roster, and the market's thin at right tackle, so the Jets are trying to lock up Morgan Moses, and it sounds like there's mutual interest both ways. We'll see if that could get done before the legal tampering period, and then all the Sharks are going to be all over him. And Jamin Sherwood is another. According to Albert Breer, Morgan Moses is swimming in the Taylor Bernard waters. That was a Buffalo Bills linebacker that was just retained on a 4-year deal for $50 million, and that's about 12.5 per year. So Jamin is now swimming in those waters. It started at 8, then it went to 9, now 10, 11, 12, 12.5. Good Lord. Jamin Sherwood is liking where the market's going for off-ball linebackers. That could be an expensive venture, but we'll see where that continues to go for him as well. There's a couple of free agent updates there, Bob.
Yeah, I was thinking, I watched you and my other son, Woody, and you guys were talking about Jamie and what he could possibly get. And I was at the time, and I think I told you afterwards, I was at the 4-year, $32 million, a little longer, a little more guaranteed money, but not to overpay. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to see in the next couple of days, people are going to overpay for, somebody. Well, we made sure we got him.
Yeah,
you sure did. So I like Jamin Sherwood. It's a short runway of production. Right, he had a big gaping hole to fill, so he had to had the opportunity to step in. I wouldn't overpay. I want to keep him. I don't want him to leave, but I don't want to overpay either. But I'm thinking it's $8 to $10 million a season. I would not pay him $12.5 million. That's just not the market. That's not the linebacker market, and he hasn't been there long enough.
So that's going to be part of the equation. Aced Up 10. Good Lord have mercy. How about a little cushion? Eat some of this, number one Austrian Jet fan.
Wow.
Oh, my good golly. Wow, another $49.99 super chat, along with your previous super chat contributions, has Ace Up 10 firmly in first place. There you go. Ace Up 10
When the
now
sun
has
comes up in Austria, there's going to be some problems.
Yeah, 59 raffle tickets for Ace, who is 25. Boy Green 25. Boy Green 25 in front of number one Austrian Jet fan. Good Lord, that is historic. Thank you, Aced Up 10. Or Terrell Bernard, excuse me. I called him Taylor Bernard. Terrell Bernard, yes. Thank you, Alan, for that. So there you go. That looks like the conversation for Jamie Sherwood as his contract continues to increase. So 12 and a half is rolling there from that perspective. So let me make sure I got all that for Rich Me. So yeah, so Morgan Moses is talking to. They're talking to Jamie Sherwood. Morgan Moses, we'll see what that money ends up being. Also, the Jets are trying to keep Tony Adams. He's a restricted free agent. If they tender him, it'll be for $3.2 million, according to Rich Samini, or with a negotiated contract. It sounds like, personally, this is my read of the situation, I think the Jets are trying to get him for cheaper than $3.2 million is what they would prefer. It's sort of like what the Packers did for the fifth-year option on Jordan Love before he ended up getting the Mondo deal. They declined the fifth-year option, reworked a deal with Jordan where it's a soft number in between. Jordan still gets some security, but the Packers get it for a little less. I think that's what the Jets are trying to do. That's my read. That's not on Rich. That's my read of the Tony Adams situation. He's a guy that started some games. He's an undrafted free agent, going to be relatively cheap. Makes a lot of sense to bring him back. I don't think he's a guaranteed starter, but I think that makes a lot of sense for this new regime. So Tony Adams is apparently, Pop, another guy they're working to bring back.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's, I think Dave Briga said that nobody takes a discount. I don't think that's true. I think once you build it's early for the Jets to get that discount, that ownership, that team building. But you look into the Lions where we started the show, right? Those guys are taking the home team discount. They are. Patrick Mahomes takes a home team discount every year. So, but yeah, make sure you take that like button to Pound Town and you share with everyone. Share every episode, every week, every day. That's how we're going to expand the army, is you sharing.
And by the way, Pop, if we're looking for a discount, and Dave Brigai pushed back, I don't think nobody takes a discount. Look at Dallas Cowboys land. Osa Adigizua signed up for $20 million. He would have gotten $25-30 million in free agency. And he re-upped with the Cowboys and hooked him up in a pivotal offseason. We're trying to pay a lot of people. Osa 1,000% took a hometown discount, a significant hometown discount with the Cowboys.
Multiple Lions players, right? That team is right to blow up, and they have all bought in, right? Dan Campbell handed around the cups of Kool-Aid everywhere, and everybody's drinking that.
Yeah. Marcus Davenport signed for a one-year deal for $4.5 million. I think the Jets would have been incredibly competitive in that market as a random example. And they're bringing back a couple of guys. Derek Barnes got pretty good money, got 3-year, $25 million. That's in the $8 million per year range, putting aside guarantees and stuff. Another guy that re-signed that I thought potential would have had Jets interest. Hollywood Brown. He ended up re-upping with the Chiefs on a one-year deal for $11 million. Aaron Glenn talked a lot about speed and free agency. That certainly would have made a lot of sense, but he's now off the market. So a lot of guys are coming off the market. And I think Alan brought this up earlier for the tight end room. Mike Gesicki. Whoa, that's a lot more money I thought he was going to get. 3 years, $25.5 million as a receiving tight end. Again, the Jets obviously swimming in some tight end waters here. Apparently, Zach Roseblatt said that's the sort of market Tyler Conklin is swimming in at that 3 year, $25.5 million evaluation.
Yeah, and I think, the disappointment, some people were disappointed last year with Conklin with the results. I would tell you that because of of Aaron's Island, right? I think he didn't look Conklin's way as much as he could have throughout the course of the season, right? You got to build your plays to get the tight end the ball, because like that big goof in Kansas City, right? You look at some of the plays, right? He's just stumbling around. He's not. I'll give it to Gronk, right? He was a pretty solid route runner, right? The goof from Kansas City, right? He just bumbles into the middle of the field, and look, nobody's covering him. I'll throw him the ball, right? A couple times in the playoffs, the Super Bowl, they're like, what the hell is going on? They may be throwing to him. Get somebody to cover him.
I don't know if I would go as far as to say Gronk is a solid route runner. I think he was just a caveman that rounded off a lot of routes, and he was so talented.
That's
And
right.
Tom Brady could kind of get the vibe of what he had. And again, he's big, massive, man. It's a great run blocker, so he had a lot going for him. And again, he's a freak.
It was underutilized. Is really the entire point. And so his production was down. Okay, well, how many balls can you catch? Probably almost as many as are thrown to you. No more than that.
Well, again, massive salutes to A-Step 10. It's been the A-Step 10 show today. There's no question about it. And the other thing, I just want to make sure I said this, because obviously tight end is a big conversation. We just talked a little bit about it from a free agent perspective. The Jets caught some flack last year for trading from 10 to 11 with the Minnesota Vikings and selecting Olu Fashanu, the offensive tackle out of Penn State. And, it's sometimes about taking your medicine in the draft, and that's taking offensive linemen, which isn't the sexy pick, but ultimately ends up proving true. Thank the Lord above, the Jets took Olu Fashanu with that pick, because if you look at left tackle in this draft and in free agency, yikes. And Brock Bowers would have been really cool, man. But you could find another tight end. What you can't find are franchise left tackles. Even though Olu had the foot injury, he should be good for this offseason and everything that's going to come before the season. The Jets have their franchise left tackle. Ronnie Stanley just re-upped with the Ravens, so he's off the board. He was a big Chiefs target. And now they're looking at guys like Dan Moore, who's going to get the bag. No, thank you. Then you go to the tackles that are in the draft. The top two tackles, Armand Membu is a right tackle, and Will Campbell has T-Rex arms coming out of the draft. And a lot of people are looking at him sideways for the combine going, oh, boy, I'm not so sure about that one. I think he might be a guard. The Jets would be in a world of hell if they didn't have Olu Fashanu right now. So I just want to make sure we poured one out and said, hey, man, we could get a Tyler Warren in this class. And I don't know if he's Brock Bowers. Probably not. But, okay, we have a pretty solid guy with upside in Tyler Warren. At least I got my franchise left tackle. Wanted to make sure I poured one out today for gosh darn Olu Fashanu, baby. I'm feeling pretty good about that now.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far overboard. I think even knowing what we know, that it was definitely the right pick for the Jets. Right.
I agree.
But I will tell you this, that Brock Bowers' production –
historic. We've never seen it.
Was historic. You've never seen anything like it, but we wouldn't have seen it, right, on the Jets. You wouldn't have seen that, right? Because apparently,
the Raiders
Rodgers doesn't like the right. He did that well, right, with the team that he was on, right. He was amazing. But we talked about it before. I've heard you talk about it before. We haven't talked about it before. The Jets need to give the Raiders a call, and we're going to give you we're going to give you a cup of coffee and enough for a croissant. How about you send Michael Mayer over here? Because if you've never seen, I would argue with you that if you looked at the body of work, they're both their last years in college. Michael Mayer's season was more impressive than Brock Bowers in his last year in college. He was the prime target for Notre Dame football, right? And everyone knew that he was a prime target, and it made zero difference. Now, obviously, things have not worked out. He's had some personal issues. We don't really know what they are, but that's still there. Like, that didn't disappear, right? Unless he pulled a I'm going to forget his name, the Notre Dame wide receiver that Floyd. Unless he pulls
Michael
a Floyd, Michael Floyd, and self implodes, I would, you could get him for almost nothing, and now is the time to do it. Right. Hey, you know what? We're going to ship you over, a 5th round draft pick from Michael Mayer. Is that all right? Maybe $10 on the side. We'll still be right. And there you go. Now you get him on the cheap. He's still on the rookie deal. You slap Conklin on the ass. Thanks for coming. Right. And you're going to get at least equivalent production from Michael Mayer if that's what you choose to do with your offense.
Yeah, again, I keep saying this because we don't know, and who knows if we'll ever know. He missed a significant part of the season. Moves of 5 or 6 games last year for personal reasons, whatever those are. Again, that's above my pay grade or whatever that is for Michael Mayer. But as long as his head's in the right space and everything, he's got 2 years of cheap control left on his rookie contract. It seems like the Raiders are aggressively shopping him. And again, I don't even know if it'll take a 5th. It might even be just a 7th or a 6th to take a round house kick. I would do more. I would get him, and then I'd either draft a tight end, sign a veteran. I'd add a little bit more to the room just because you don't just want to rely solely on a guy that you just randomly grabbed off someone's scrap heap, but I think he has a ton of upside. And apparently, remember, this is a previous regime, of course. The Jets are considering Michael Mayer the 15th overall pick before they went to Will McDonald. So obviously, the old regime valued him quite highly, despite everything that's happened. Pop, are you ready to go to the phone lines?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's do it. So without further ado, if you'd like to call into the show, that is youtube.com/boygreen25 to call into the program. We got 500 people in the room right now. So let's play a quick hep song, and we'll open up the phone lines next.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go.
You heard the man. Let's go. Phone lines are now open on YouTube. Again, that is youtube.com/boygreen25. We got nearly 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. If you'd like to call in, we're streaming live on Facebook and Twitter on top of YouTube as well, which we appreciate no matter where you consume this show, or the audio-only version or after the fact. But if you're watching live on the program, feel free to call in and utilize that pinned comment on YouTube. And we mentioned it earlier, Pop, that this has been the Aced Up 10 show. And Aced Up 10 is now calling in, baby. Let's go. Welcome to the program, my man.
What up, Paul? What up, Pop?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for a historic day, man.
Yeah, I love the show, man. You guys are great, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, what you were saying about Vikings not tagging Darnold and letting him go, and then Aaron Rodgers being the better choice. Yeah, I agree. If they didn't tag him, then yeah, let him go, because like you said, they're gonna have $100 million backup if they don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's right.
I 100% agree with that, man. And I hope we get this Fields thing done, man. It's the best option we got, man. And why not going into the season, Fields, Tyrod, and I say don't even pick a quarterback in the friggin' draft. Wait till next year. Go in with Tyrod, with Fields, Tyrod, and Jordan Travis.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? Use our picks. Yeah. Use our picks to get to stack the roster. Even trade back out of 7. You know, if somebody offers something worthwhile. You know, that's just
I think that's the way that Muji and Aaron Glenwick have kind of alluded to, the opportunity to trade back. And then if you did sign Justin Fields, and hopefully they do, then you can take a flyer on this quarterback in the mid, the Kyle McCord or, some of these other ones later on. So absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's there late, then yeah. But don't waste high picks or waste going up, trading stock to go up for Cam or Shador. I don't, and I'm not feeling
holes. The holes are there, right? We need the fatties in the middle. Exactly. We need a complement to Garrett Wilson.
Exactly. I feel exactly the same way, man. I just wanted to call in, I love the show. You guys are great. BG, big supporter, man. Love you, bro. You guys are great,
thank you. Thanks, pal. Aced Up 10, popping the cherry, baby. Hopping here on the program. Again, this has been the Aced Up 10 show. There's no question about it. Appreciate the support all the time, man. That means a lot. I would say this. I think there is, to me, I'm a guy that takes a swing at a quarterback every year, but you could sell me on the Aced Up 10 plan. The Jets signed Justin Fields. We have Justin Fields. We have Tyrod Taylor. And they kind of look at the draft and they go, you know what? F it. There's not a guy that we love. And maybe they had targets on a mid-round guy, but then the right pick is in there at the right time. They're like, yeah, you know what? Forget it. We're going into next season with Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis. The Jordan Travis stands in the audience. Woo! We get an opportunity for him to get a real shot, because it'll be a lot harder for him to have that quote-unquote real shot if the Jets take a Kyle McCord, because Kyle McCord's likely beating out Travis. Travis goes to the practice squad heap, if not to someone else's team, and then you lose out on that possibility. If the Jets don't draft the rookie quarterback, the Jordan Travis is a happy man. He's like, great, I've got an opportunity here. Very unlikely that he's going to take the starting job from either of those two guys, but that he could be on the roster and continue to develop. That would be his opportunity.
It really comes down to what we don't know and what we'll never know, very similar to Mike Myers. we don't know what Jordan Travis rehab is. And I would tell you this, a third round pick, apparently we throw him out the window every chance we get. The third round pick, I don't think I'm comfortable. I don't think I'm the Jets. If I don't know, right, what does the doctor say? What does the rehab look like for Jordan Travis? I'm not comfortable letting a year go by without drafting a quarterback. If I'm certain that his rehab, if I see what I expected to see when I draft him, then I'm okay. But we don't know that. Jet Nation doesn't really know that. And if the Jets don't know that, then I'm drafting a quarterback, right? And then I'm okay, right? A third round pick, if you don't end up using it, okay, c'est la vie. But I'm not hoping that the year after let's say the Fields experiment doesn't pan out, and then Tyrod runs out his contract and he decides to go, plant daisies and wherever he's from, then now you're in trouble. Right, so it doesn't take long before it looks you're in a solid situation till you're not. So
that's true.
His health, his rehab, that's the super key. And I think we don't know. I think the Jets don't know, and then I'm drafting that quarterback second or third rounds.
Let's get another caller, and we got Indy Jets here on the show. Oh. Sorry, Indy. It looks like you're having technical difficulties. I've seen you've tried to come in and come out a few times. It doesn't look like whatever your Wi-Fi situation. I can't even see your camera on, so it looks like technical difficulties, unfortunately, are happening there. Oh, wait, I think we might have him. Let's try this again. Indy, go ahead.
He's apparently sharing Wi-Fi with Ricky from New York. But,
yeah, I guess so. Well, I guess we'll just call it a show here then. My apologies, Indy Jets. I wish I could have got you on. It looks like you're still having your issues there. But again, awesome show. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody for supporting the program, especially A-Step 10 today. That was a lot of fun. And folks, tomorrow, legal tampering period, baby. Massive news. Again, our show, of course, will be before that, though. So our show is at 7:30 in the morning. We'll see if there's any rumors or anything else. Again, obviously, we have Dom C for a mock draft Monday. We'll, I'm sure, share in a lot of that action as well. So we'll keep you all posted. We probably won't do a mock draft tomorrow because, again, free agency is going to change a lot of that equation based on the information that comes up from that perspective. But we'll see what we have cooking tomorrow. It should be interesting. Pop, enjoy church, and we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, and who knows? There may be pop-up videos coming with some of this legal tampering period, as well as the fact that next week I'll be back on Saturday, and we're going to have some new kind of stuff out there that you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it.
Okay, there he is. Hop on Pop for Saturday. Just put it on my calendar. Well, yes, everybody as well. I know we are live every single day at 7:30 in the morning, but as news breaks, we'll have two things going. First off, articles that you guys can read about all of the latest that's happening with the Jets, and we'll have shorter videos. So you guys can check that out as well as we react to whatever Jets additions happen or dramatic leaving. Like if a key Jets in-house free agent leaves, we'll also have reaction videos to that on the YouTube channel as well. Quick content for you guys on the move. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to the 500 people. Like the video, hit subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily. Take care.